So, are you ready?
Yes, it is now live streaming, and I will move over Mr. Cunningham, who's the first applicant. So go ahead, you can start.
Okay, I'd like to open up the Madison Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency meeting for May 4th, 2026 at 7:04 p.m. We have Steve Lowry, Nick Schumacher, myself, Kayla Freidenberg, and our agent, Maria Patello, attending for the agency. Our first item on the agenda is application 26-11, 61 Lantern Hill Road. This is for regulated activity permit for placement of fill, grading, and turf establishment within the 100-foot upland review area. This was received, we didn't discuss it last time, but this was received last month. And so we're talking about it tonight, which means that I think we still have one more. We don't have to act on this tonight, right? If it was received last month, and we can act on it next month if need be. And hopefully, there were some files uploaded. There's a landscape plan, the butters, a letter from Davison. Um, Maria uploaded the original site plan for the original work, but that's from 2024, just as a note. So do we have Mr. Cunningham here?
Says he is, but it looks like he was muted.
Hey, Marie, Kaleo, I am here. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very good.
Oh, great. And we have Mr. Davison from Davison Environmental. That's great. Okay, so we don't have a site plan. We have your landscaping plan, which is
hmm
different. Um, so you can maybe tell us what you're planning. It wasn't as outlined as clearly it could have been.
Um, Matt, maybe I'll just run them through the landscape plan, and then you can get into the wetlands and everything.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fine. I think the most important thing, John, will be the offset of the new lawn area, obviously.
yes, correct. We approached the wetland board, I think, a couple years ago to put in a sport court, pool house on the Pesh property. We are 35 to 40 feet from the wetland edge on that side of the property, okay? Which the board approved, that there would be no impact on the wetlands. We have since finished the work inside our original erosion control line that is shown on my plan. That's the exact distance from the house that Mike Ott's plan has. My plan would mimic that, okay? And as we looked at it, we'd like to move past that line closer to the wetlands. It's just going to be maintained lawn. There's no real planting or anything else that's going to happen down there. There is going to be some grading to make sure we can get the lawn back in. And our final dimension would be about 45 feet from the wetland edge.
Okay.
Everything else, just to recap, everything else has remained exactly as we said it in 2024. We're asking for right now is that we just push from that original line towards the wetlands a little bit.
How
In
far
With
would, go ahead.
with
in
Phil,
in my
you're gonna have
report,
Phil.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say in my report, I had some annotated photos, which gave a pretty good view of sort of where the new lawn would be in relation to the wetland. There were two photos in the back. I'm sorry, I don't have it up to share.
Right. So and are those trees, is that an ash? Um, in photo one, looking towards the house and the retaining wall or whatever wall that is. It looks like there's a decent sized tree and two other trees. Do those stay?
Yes, no more trees are coming down.
And then the second one, view from the looking southwest. So you're extending the lawn towards the wetland.
Correct.
Okay, but you're having fill? You said you have to have fill?
Yes, well, there'd be a combination. If we were all standing on the site, you would see that the existing grade is not something that you could put a lawn into, Kayla. You would have to, we're going to regrade the area and then add, and the regrading of the area very possibly might be with all the existing material on site, but we would need additional topsoil, 8 inches, a compacted 8 inch base for lawn area that will roll from the bottom of the existing or the new stone wall down to existing grade. And we made those notes in the plan. So we're not changing grade where we'd like to grade to. That elevation will remain the same.
Say that again.
Um, can you picture grading down a slope? Where we're going to grade to, the elevation is not going to change. So here's a photograph. So we're going to grade from the bottom of the new stone wall down to the area that's about 45 feet from the wetland edge. But that point right there will be the exact elevation of what it is right now.
And what's that elevation change between the two?
If I had to just guess, I don't even believe it's on Mike Ott's plan. Maybe 4 feet in about 50 feet from the wall to the new line, which is 45 feet from the wetlands.
Okay, well,
It might not be 4 feet, it might be, 42 inches, but we didn't shoot those elevations. We're just going to roll the lawn grade down to that new line that we showed.
and go ahead.
I assume on the original plan, that was just supposed to remain as is. Is that what the original plan called for?
Yes.
To answer your question, yes, we were just going to leave, your board approved this erosion control line, which we've all been behind. But as we looked at it and we redid the wall in front of the house, Chris would just like, the owner of the property would like to extend a maintained lawn area a little bit further away from the wall.
And how,
Oh, it's not
go ahead.
really, then it's not really extending it. It's creating a new lawn area, it sounds like.
Yes, correct. Mhm.
Okay.
And
There's stakes out there with pink ribbons on them. Is that the line you're talking about?
That's the wetland, I think.
that's the wetland, I
Okay.
assume, right?
There were stakes as well.
Yeah, no, the wetlands flagging is on twigs and such, and then farther up, there's stakes with pink ribbon on it.
Yes, correct, Steve. Those pink stakes, I put them in at the dimension on my plan. So when Matt got there, he could photograph from the wetlands looking back to the house and if you wanted to do it vice versa. But those pink stakes are about where our line would be.
Okay.
And what, so trying to understand this, and I will just preface this by saying we'll need an updated site plan with fill and all that information. That's pretty standard for what we ask for applicants to have on the final site plan. We need to have everything that we approve. So we'll need how much fill, what's being filled, the elevations, all of that. And it's not, I mean, it's not on the 2024 because this wasn't part of the original application. So I'll just preface that by saying that. But given this lawn extension, um, what what are the plans for the 45 feet between this intended lawn and the wetland? Is that just going to be left as is? Is there going to be demarcation to show that the lawn ends? Is it going to be a planted vegetated buffer?
Well, right now, if you allowed us to go to the 45 feet from the wetlands, it would be a natural vegetated buffer from that line, Kilo, back down to the wetland edge. We're not planning on doing anything in that natural 45-foot buffer. We're going to use, it's just going to be maintained lawn, and we're proposed to say that there wouldn't be any chemical fertilizers down or anything else. We just want to extend the maintained lawn a little bit further than it would be. We think it will look much better with the house and add to that area. We think the original erosion control line is a little bit close to the existing stone or our new stone wall.
Right, but we talked about that at the time, given that you're building, obviously in the regulated activity
Yep.
area. Um, so I guess my question is though, if you do this extended lawn
Yep.
and there's no break between the lawn and what's there now, oftentimes we see creep. So what is to stop there being even more maintained lawn over time
It,
into this regulated activity area?
Okay, that's a good question. The area at the 45-foot line from the wetland wouldn't be prepared as maintained lawn. So it is brambles and native plant material down there, which you could not cut, Kalo. It would not be maintained lawn. I'm sure at your house you have an area where you have maintained lawn and in the woods. And why doesn't your lawn go into the woods? Because it's not prepared for a lawn area. That's the best I could say. We're not going past that disturbed line, so it's existing wooded area, the same as the other side of the house where the pool and the pool house was built.
And the same as the area that you're putting the lawn in, proposing to put the lawn in now, right?
Well, right now there's a construction road there, Lee, that runs from the driveway over to the pool house and the court. Okay, it is just fill. We have not gone past the line that you approved last time we are here. We are going to, we would grade any type of lawn area has to have, you can almost see it in that photograph, any type of lawn area has to have at least a 6 to 8 inch compacted base of topsoil if you want the lawn to grow. So you can see these rocks and you can see our original really salt hay erosion control barrier. I just have to grade that out. That's why I said I don't believe there really much new fill brought to this property. We can try to estimate what it is, but there's a very minimal amount because you're cutting this grade down. If you see the side of the Kubota machine, that is going to lower by probably 12 to 16 inches. So the material that's there is going to get regraded. The only thing that's going to be added is topsoil. And, if I had to guess, it's 180 yards of topsoil. You need to put the topsoil in correctly to the correct depth.
So you're taking out the construction road, grading that down.
Yes, correct.
That's what you're gonna be putting the lawn on top of, so there
Yep,
won't be any more construction road there.
And
Absolutely
originally
correct.
that construction road was supposed to be replanted.
With lawn, correct.
Right, correct. Okay.
Yep.
But
And
how big, how long is that? But that you're going for more than just the construction road. You're doubling that amount.
Right, because here's the silt, here's the silt, well, it's not, what is it? The hay.
Whatever it is.
barrier,
But this,
yeah.
you're doubling. You're at least doubling what you would have already planted there. It's
yes,
looks
to
like.
answer your question, yes, we're going from probably 15 feet lower to probably about, we're probably adding 25 feet of lawn, maybe 30 feet of lawn. Right now, we're about 15 feet at the one end. We're probably about 12 down at the curve of the wall. If you see the bottom of the stonework on the wall, that would be where the lawn area starts, and it would roll down to our new line.
which is these pink markers.
Yes, correct.
Okay, well, it would be great to, um, you guys can, it's nice that you're estimating, but we do ask people to turn in site plans with elevations and fill estimates and all of that. And that's not what we have. We have your landscape plan, which it's helpful, but it doesn't have that information. It was, we just had this kind of narrative from Mr. Davison, and and then you know this landscape plan. But we'll need, we need an actual site plan with elevations and how much fill you're having and all of that. That's what we ask for applications.
We can take all the elevations of the base of the wall where we're going to fill 2 kilo, and then take the elevations of the 45-foot line. And I'm just basically guessing. It's not going to be a whole lot of fill, and there is going to be some additional topsoil.
I understand that. I'm just saying that our what we ask all of our applicants to do for new applications is to have an updated site plan with that information. We're not, we can't approve something with estimates. That's that's not what we do.
So the
We
application, I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
Kayla.
go ahead.
But the application does state placement of fill, grading, and turf establishment. And then it says about 9450 square footage of 100 upland review, which will be altered. It's checked off that there will be removal of soil and deposit of fill and grading, restoration of vegetation. So it states that in the application. And you didn't have that on, those numbers on your plan, right, John?
No, I usually don't get involved in
Right.
yardage of what's going to be brought in, because we might have fixed elevations, and then whatever is needed to get to those fixed elevations, which is the same thing here, that's the amount of soil that's brought back in.
So just on a side note, this property did have to bring in an amount of soil that triggered a zoning permit. So and I know that was for the back half of the property. So, and this is going to be additionally in the front now. Unfortunately, it does state that they are depositing and removing, and we do usually ask, for the calc.
I can have Mike Ott's
Yeah.
office calculate what I think the fill is.
I thought that he had done, I seen that he did on the
I
amount of
thought it-
upland altered, but not the fill calc on the plan. Let's see. I don't think he put the amount.
Okay.
Are you gonna be grubbing out all the roots where you're gonna be putting fill and loam in?
Yes,
Or
we
just gonna cover over it?
Depends on how deep it is. If it's I need to have 6 to 8 inches of compacted topsoil. As I said, for the lawn, I'd probably like to have a sandy fill below that so it drains. So we're probably going to be 12 to 14 inches down from whatever grade our finished lawn elevation is going to be. That's probably the easiest way to say that.
Yeah. And you don't wanna have all the roots of the
No, you don't.
previous stuff underneath everything.
Absolutely correct. So Chloe, we could have, Mike will probably send out one of the surveyors. We can shoot all the elevations and get the town all the necessary cubic requirements of what the fill and the topsoil are. I don't think it's going to be very great. We'd really love to wrap this project up. That's why we're here tonight, but we'll listen to the wetland board and go by your recommendations.
Yeah, he even reports the DEP reporting form says excavating fill. So,
Other questions from agency members?
Oh,
Um, well, I, I get that you like to finish. I guess I would just say that we've had other applicants in the same position and we've had to say the same thing, that it's, I guess I would say that this shouldn't be a huge surprise given, you know, all of you have been before us. I'm not sure why Mike didn't do an updated um site plan. Uh,
Can,
so
can we go back to the possible lawn expansion issue? Because that's another thing that we deal with all the time
yes,
when people are doing work in the buffer near the wetlands without a natural barrier, which doesn't seem to be in this case. So I'm wondering if
right.
there's, I mean, we've used markers before. I don't know how the homeowners would feel about posts lining their lawn, or whether, there's some kind of vegetative barrier that would uh, uh, give us more confidence that the lawn area wouldn't expand. So how do you guys feel about that?
Well, I guess that I think that's a great point, and I guess that's why I was asking, because this has come up again and again with all kinds of applications that want to expand lawn closer and closer to the wetland, and so that's why we asked to have posts and markers put up so that there is a very clear. And I understand, Mr. Cunningham, about you're prepping this lawn area, but your clients are going to own this house for however long, and then they're going to sell it, and then other people, might extend the lawn, and so that's, we're not. It's just the long term. How do we delineate what we have said is okay versus what is not okay? And that's where we have been asking people for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years or more to put in these posts every, what, 30, 50 feet, delineating, saying this is the wetland, this is the boundary that is no mow past here, or whatever we have.
Mhm.
Um, and I guess I'm, assuming that this moves forward, I think that would be something we'd like to see.
If that was a condition of approval, we don't have a problem putting some posts in that will say this is the limit of the work that can get done to this area. And from this mark forward, it's a wetland buffer.
Well, that would satisfy my concern
Yeah.
anyway.
Mhm. I've worked on a number of projects in Madison, Southwick. They've gone on for 30 years. Usually the wetland board does like to have some type of delineation between where you can do work and where you can't. I totally understand that. Part of that is also probably town staff checking things. If you would like us to write a letter and show photographs for the upcoming years, we'd be more than happy to do that.
Okay,
Okay.
Right, but that still leaves us without an updated site plan
that's correct.
with our information. Um, so Maria, did did Mike say anything today, or did he?
um,
I thought there was something in the staff memo that he had confirmed.
he had confirmed the distance, and the amount of area.
Oh, okay,
But he had looked at the plan, but he did not, he said he didn't do I thought he did, and he said no, he did not do a revised civil, plan, that he had looked at, Mr. Cunningham's plan and calculated and, scaled the amount just to, check the distances. and the amount. Amount of disturbance, not fill. He said nothing about the fill.
Okay. Yeah, I must have misread that.
Right. So it says there's fill, but no fill
And
calculations
no fill calculation.
there are no fill calculations. Right. So we don't have, and we don't have area delineated on an official site plan. It's just on the landscaping plan,
Right.
right?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
The only thing I'm not, and Mr. Davison, this couldn't, I guess, you did the delineation originally, it didn't change, right? Or did you not delineate the front area, it was only the back at the first? I don't remember.
I delineated I delineated the entire property the first time, or that entire line that faced all of the work, and then I redelineated what faced this new proposed work as a part of my letter, and just to give so that when the commission did their site walk, they could have a visual reference as to the limit of the new lawn versus the location of the wetlands.
Okay, so here is so this was the original. Or the one that was approved originally with the wetland flagging.
Mhm. And Maria, I apologize. I'm not.
And this is the silt fence area,
Yes,
because
correct.
this was the construction road.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mike did not do an updated plan showing our new location?
No,
Okay.
No.
I thought there was. I thought I
I thought
talked
there
to
was
you,
also.
I couldn't remember because it
Yeah.
was a while ago. It was before it was submitted that we talked
Mhm.
about it. And I thought there was one coming, and there wasn't. There isn't. It was just I think done off your plan.
I gave Mike my plan and I told him to match my lines. Um, and I could have sworn that he did. He put in a new line. Now, I will agree with you. I don't remember ever seeing a fill calculation on what would be needed. I don't think we asked him to do that. I think we just asked him to delineate our new line.
Right. But we don't have that.
Okay.
So I mean, so I guess, I understand wanting to wrap up the project. But I hope you can appreciate, we approve something, and if we approve something that without a site plan that's updated, that leaves us not in a great position. And so we try to be very careful about making sure that we're looking at exactly what we're approving
Okay.
when we have these. So it would, it would be great. And I guess it would be great in the updated site plan to also have these markers
Mhm.
at the boundary between the
Mhm.
proposed new lawn and the untouched no mow
Mhm.
buffer area. Um, anything else and Joe, you can jump in if you had a chance to look at this. Do you
Well,
have any questions?
I think they're getting a sage advice. I think we're consistent trying to get the most updated plans when we have them in front of us. But every now and then we can condition about future activities like thou shalt seed grass over here. But I think when it comes to fill, we should have accuracy before we make a decision.
Okay.
I don't think,
Lee or
I think it's
go ahead.
more of a major activity to not condition, whereas we have a lot of other minor ones that we can condition. I think this is more of a upper level activity. We should know the details.
Okay. Lee or Steve, any
Oh,
other?
I've already asked my questions, so.
Okay.
I wasn't on the commission couple of years ago. So I just had that landscaping plan and I had no idea what I was supposed to be looking at out there. I looked all over
Yeah.
the place, so I know what it looks like, but I didn't know where the activity was supposed to be. As far as I could tell, there was a lot of new loam in there that was within 100 feet of the wetlands. And well, was that from some previous permit? But I didn't even know there was a previous permit. I just know that the pool was put in more than a year ago because of the vegetation that had grown up. So it would have been nice to have at least known what area I was supposed to be looking at.
Yeah, it was a little challenging, but so I guess that's the deal. So, you know, if you guys can come back, it should be pretty straightforward to have this updated site plan with the markers, the fill, all the information on the site plan so we can see and know what we're approving. That would be wonderful.
Okay.
If the commission would allow me to, I could make a brief statement about the wetlands and then possibly avoid my attendance at the next
Oh,
meeting.
yes, 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 please.
Not that, I mean, as much as I'd love to, to join again in a month.
No, no, no. Please go ahead and yes, thank you for your report. And it would be great if you want to give us your statement.
Yeah, so when John initially approached me for this, the first thing I asked was for a site walk so I could look at the area in question. And then we met out there and John explained to me in detail what he wanted to do. And then from there, I asked him to stake the extent of the new lawn, and then I was going to reflag the wetland. And that way I would again get another chance to take a look at exactly what was proposed. And, one of the things that should be mentioned too is that, just the grades alone there don't, I agree that the boundary should be, the new lawn should be staked, but that area is also not an area that lends itself to heavy use. The first question to John was, how are you going to mow this? And I guess he's got a guy that will mow that slope, but it's not an area that's going to lend itself to a lot of use or potential expansion, but I am in agreement that staking would be great. But I think, and then if you're out there, it's also pretty apparent that the area where the new lawn would go generally corresponds to an area that's been more maintained than the area below it. The area below it, as John said, has a lot more, there's some greenbrier and some sweet pepper bush and stuff that gets pretty dense below it. But where the lawn line was made sense to me, if you're out there and you look at sort of what's there now and what's below it. And then the other thing I asked John was about the use of organic fertilizer there, which he said that they were perfectly willing to do. And I think given I know that's difficult to control, although again, it's not an area that I would expect any type of landscape outfit would be wanting to heavily fertilize. But I think if you're using organic fertilizer there and then giving the other consideration is that there's really not much of a contributing drainage area there because you're in the shadow of the house and the wall. So you're not going to have a lot of, even in a heavy rain, you're not going to have a lot of water moving through that area. So even if there was, someone did over apply fertilizer or something like that, I still don't see much of a mechanism for any impairment of the wetland below it. I think it really is just a function of sort of establishing where that new lawn line is, and then making sure there's no future expansion into the area that's natural now, where it is actually wooded and there is shrubs and things and a dense ground cover. But I didn't really have any concerns with this project once I was, apprised of all of the components of it that, as you stated, is, a little difficult to pull out of there, but once you do, it's a little more easy to digest. But
Okay.
so.
All right. Well, and so I know it's very hard to, I mean, it's wonderful if people use organic fertilizer, but it's kind of hard to enforce that.
Yeah, no, I get it. But and there's enough of a natural buffer remaining and it's not a huge area, so
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of concern
Okay.
with what's being proposed there.
Well, that sounds good, and that matches your report. Anybody else have questions for Mr. Davidson so we can excuse him from next month?
No.
Just a comment, the area below where the stakes were is a pretty low grade pucker brush. It's mowed now, but when that stuff grows back up, you're not gonna get water moving through it rather rapidly.
Right.
It'll have time to soak in.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you. That is helpful.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt.
So, um, so we'll look forward to seeing the site plan with the posts and the outline and the fill and all the stuff that we didn't get to see this time. And then it should be pretty easy sailing next month.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion to
All
table,
right.
motion to table until next month.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor? I don't know if we usually do this, but we can do that.
We might as well. It doesn't hurt.
All right, we can all agree to table this. We're still within our time frame, so we're completely within our
Yeah, really don't
regulations.
need to, yeah, okay.
But that's okay.
That's
It's
okay.
fun. Good,
Yeah.
good voting. All right. All right, great. We'll see that next month then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, okay, so that was our only active application. We had two agent approvals, 269-9 Bridgeton Lane. This was for a permit for a storage shed within 100 feet of the upland review area. I assume that was okay.
Yeah, they have a little tiny shed behind the church that they took down and replaced. So
Okay. And then 26-12, 53 Madison Avenue. This was an I'm assuming this was pretty standard since you approved a pool and a spa.
yes.
In 100 foot, I'm like, that's bold, but I'm sure
So
it must have been.
it's actually, yes, be in between the house and garage.
Oh, okay. I figured there
Yes.
must be. I did. I was
Yeah,
like,
the wetlands, it's the property, and they tried for a long time trying to figure something out. The property fronts on it's on Madison Avenue, and the back fronts on Pleasant. So they have
oh,
two front
okay.
yards. So they've tried to do so many things, and there's so many things they can't between skinny lot, two front
Yeah.
yards, wetlands, and they ended up just sticking the pool in between the
Okay.
house and the garage, and the wetlands is a pocket on behind the garage on Pleasance. I think it was 85 feet away.
Was this
Okay.
an above
Yeah.
ground
No,
pool?
No, it's an
no, it's
in-ground. Yeah, it's an
Oh.
in-ground. But they had the wetlands redelineated, and they worked with Torsen and and myself, and yeah, it ended up I wouldn't do it unless once I had them, because again, the GIS is completely different from what the actual delineation ended up being.
okay.
So the wetlands are in the back, and I did condition it that if they wanted to come through the back, they had to notify me. Right now they're planning on coming from the front driveway. There's a back and a front driveway. They needed to
Okay.
notify me and add some silt fence at the bottom of the drive. So
Okay. No, I trust you. I
I
was
know
just like, wow.
normally I wouldn't do it, but I was like, it's yeah. So
Yeah. No. If it's between the house and the
yeah, and it's tucked
garage.
between the house and a garage. Yeah, and a garage. So
Okay. So those are our agent approvals, and then we have our minutes. So I looked through the minutes. I I did read them. I did not catch any typos, but I was reading quickly in between meetings today. Did anybody have any comments on the minutes?
I did the same, and I have the same qualification, so I didn't
I
see.
didn't see any problem with it.
Okay.
I move we approve the minutes for April 6th, 2026 meeting.
I
Okay.
second.
All right. Joe seconds. All in favor of approving our
I
minutes? All right.
Aye.
Unanimous. Excellent. Okay.
recused
So,
myself, but I did listen, so I know what was said.
oh, that's right. That's right. Yes, that was in the minutes that you did recuse yourself. Okay. So we are speeding through our meeting tonight, which is super exciting. In the wetlands chairman comments, I don't have any. I think it do we so right now, do you know if we have anything for next month,
no,
Maria?
no. So no, um, We did not get anything. There was one that, like I said, was submitted. They kind of, I don't want to say they did it prematurely, but we had to look at, once we got a scaled map, they were like 111 feet away from the wetlands, so they didn't, they withdrew. And I have nothing now. So, if something comes in, do we have we make a decision whether we have a receipt meeting? We have nothing. Oh, well, they're coming back, so we have a meeting anyway.
Oh, yeah, we have a meeting.
Yeah, they're coming
That's
back.
okay.
So, yeah, I don't have anything new receipt. There may be receipts for, July.
Okay. All right. Well, so that'll be exciting again in June, people, to appreciate our short meetings.
Yeah, I know. I do want to remind everybody about your all of them because I did it. I'm recertified. I did mine. So
Yeah, I was going to ask
Yay.
how difficult would it be to resend the instructions on how to do that?
Oh yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we can have, I think we have it's in an email, and I actually went through the link myself just to make sure I have UConn on here, but it was yeah, it's good. You could stop and start, you could take it at your leisure. You could stop at each, segment.
Yeah.
After your test, and if you don't want to do another one, whatever, and it just picks up where you left off. So it's really good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Let's all do. We need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could resend the link or send the instructions, that would be good.
I mean, I know it's not until January, but I'm like, we're almost halfway through the year already. So
I know.
yeah,
That
and
should be
nobody's
our
going to want to
summer
do it over the
assignment.
summer.
How
So
long did
Well-
it take? How long did it take you total, Maria?
I did it in a day.
Nobody
just-
called you up on the phone?
No,
you
I
were
did.
doing it
Yeah, I
locally?
did it in a day. Well, I actually started it in the afternoon, like late afternoon, and then I finished it the next day. It was a quiet few days. So yeah. So altogether it was less than like 6 hours, 5 hours, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And it's easy to pick up and put down and
That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
avoid
yeah.
that.
As soon as you could just, and it just picks up right where you left off, and you move on, and yeah, so you don't have to take the practice quizzes if you don't want to. I started to, and then I just went went and finished it. So
Okay.
yeah,
All
and it
right.
keeps track. So, and it tells
Let's
you.
see if one of us can have it done by next month. It'll
I
be a
know,
race.
right?
It'll be a contest.
Well,
I gotta put it on my calendar somewhere and try and race
I'm
to the finish
retired,
here.
so I have an advantage.
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
Yeah.
I've got a busy month, but I'm gonna bump it up somewhere so I at least see it on my to-do list.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, so do you have any other comments, Maria?
No, I don't. Yeah, we'll just have this next month, and then we'll see if we have any more receipts. If I have anything to, I did. Oh, I almost forgot. Deepwood Drive. I talked to Bob Gerard, my zoning technician, this morning, who presented for Deepwood Drive, that tree clearing, so they could fix the dam.
Oh,
Remember that
right. Yeah.
project? We were under order from,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
so they have successfully completed that portion of
Oh,
the
good.
tree clearing. He went out as I said before, he's a retired surveyor, so he had gone out and staked it and assisted with the staking and flagging of everything. He was there for the bidding process. He had been checking up on it when they went through the process of clearing and cutting, grubbing, and what they needed to do. So that phase is over, and they'll just get to what they need to do for the repairs after.
Good.
Okay. That's
Okay.
great.
Yep.
All right.
Wonderful.
I'll take the final motion of the evening.
I'm make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
All right. A second.
Second. Everybody seconds.
No, everyone second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Excellent. All right. So we're
Okay.
adjourned at 7:48 p.m.
Woohoo.
Hey.
Well, it's not right there.
Thanks.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
we'll see you
Happy-
guys next month.
See you next month.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy
Sounds-
spring. Enjoy the weather.
Sounds good.
Bye.
All right.
Aye.
Bye.